Hello everybody, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to continue on the book that I'm working on, and what I'm going to work on today are guest checks. So these are some guest checks that I have, and I also have some leftover doily from yesterday. I might try to incorporate in with that as well. So I have a page picked out that I want to do it on. So the page that I'm going to do it on, these were printouts from Dear Julie Julie's kit. And that's that page, and I didn't do anything to the other side, so it's a blank white page. This is a page that I printed out of her from her kit. So I'm going to work on this page. So it's going to be upside down from you. Sorry about that, but it needs to be that way so I can see it. Okay. So what I have in mind that I think I want to try to do are make pockets with the checks. So I'm going to fold that in half. And then I'm going to put this one over the top of it, and I think I might rip it. Well, okay, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to cut off that top part, and I'm going to glue it to paper because I want it strong enough to withstand paper going in and out of it. Because this is so thin, you know, it's not meant to withstand something like this, so it's more apt to rip. So I think I might just put it on this because I have this handy, and this is what I've been using previously. So I'm just going to kind of get some particularly close to the edges. I could potentially sew this as well, which I would want to glue it anyway. So I'm going to try to get it as close to the edges here so I don't have to cut that side. Kind of save a step. Okay, so that's on nicely. And then this one, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use it, so I'm just going to glue the whole thing. Oops. There's a string there. I think it's a string of from my hot glue, and it just keeps following me. It's still on my finger. Okay, so I've got that laid down also right by the edge so that I don't have to recut it. I am going to cut this just with my scissors because I don't want to risk it ripping on my paper cutter that I was just using. Because with the glue it might do that, but my scissors will cut right through if there's any glue. Not an issue. So because the paper is thin, with the glue, I am seeing a little bit of puckering. I could have used a different glue. I could have used like a glue stick and then, like I said, sewn it or something, but I didn't. So I'm willing to deal with it. I mean, it doesn't look bad or anything. I'm just pointing out what I see. Okay, so this would go on something like that. And then I'm thinking I want this as a second pocket. I want to show that part. So maybe I'll go up to here. So what I'm going to rip it. I'm going to rip this part to create an angled pocket. I think what I'll start doing is by cutting it down to the same size right there. And then I will rip it. You know, I wonder if I need to wait for the glue to dry before I rip it. Huh, that's a good question. So, and I think I want it low enough so that I can still see that. Now when I rip it, that will show up. So that's really not an issue. And I want the guest part to show, not the check part to show. I think is a friendlier thing. So I'm going to put it high enough and then rip it. So I think I might start ripping around here. So let me just see how, oh, it's ripping fine. So I'm going to rip it, angle it, and then leave still a corner there. So the way that I ripped it also, just to point out, I ripped it so that I ripped it pulling up. And when I pull up, that's what gave me this look. If I pull down, you're not going to see that. You see how you don't see that? The brown paper, the edging. So whatever look that you want. If you want to try to see more of a distress edging, or if you want to see something more clean cut, then that determines which direction you want to rip it. Alright, I think I like that. So let me see if I want to... I think I want to sew on this one. So I am going to go sew just right around it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I did sew these, but one thing I want to point out, before I went to sew them, I took my heat gun and I just ran my heat gun over it because I wanted to make sure that my glue was absolutely dry. You don't want to take your sewing machine and start sewing through an area that might have wet glue on it. That's like suicide for your sewing machine. Okay, so I have these. I'm going to turn my hot glue gun on. I could leave scraggly. No, I don't want scraggly. I want this to be a nice, tidy book. But I do want to go over those little areas with a touch of glue. This one, I kind of went forward and back on it, so it is locking in those stitches a little bit better, but I hate it when my stitches come undone. It's not very pretty looking. So I'm going to keep that to the side because I might still use that. I'll keep that there. So let's see what we've got. So I got to play with it a little bit to get the bend going. So I've got that, and then I've got that. I like how that looks. Now I want, where's a piece of lace? I want to get some lace and frilly things in here as well. So this will be made so a tuck can go behind there and a tuck can go in here. So there'll be two areas for tucks. I should have something that's more stationary, that's flatter compared to an actual piece of material sticking up, because it's more apt to get caught on it. I don't know. I think I might first just kind of glue these on and see what's going to happen with that. So I can use my glues. This is the deal. Sometimes I find that when I sew something and using just my wet glue, I don't like how well it sticks compared to when I use my glue gun on edges like that. My glue gun I just turned on, so it's not an option. So this is a deal too. When I do something like this, when I make a pocket, I like to put something in it so the pocket doesn't get too tight. If I don't do that, what happens is that it's just too tight and it's difficult to put my tucks in it. It stresses the pocket. You know what? That's gluing nicely though. I feel like it should be fine. Okay, so, and then next, I want to make sure it's nice and secure. Next, this one's going to go down. You know what? I probably should have inked those edges first. That's okay. We'll make it work. But I am going to ink these edges, since I have it. So I did get my new ink in, but it's not right here, so I have to still use my walnut ink, and that's okay. It's just a darker ink. So I am going to just kind of take this ink and carefully kind of go over the edges without getting on this back sheet. Just giving it a little bit of grunge, I think is good. Gives it a little bit more definition. So that's going to go there. The thing is, I might want to put something else right behind there that gives it a little bit more of a frilly feel coming out. A doily's a nice thing by a guest check because, you know, doilies are all over the place with food service, right? But this is pretty light, and so I'm thinking I might try a punch. Let me grab one of my punches. I used this one yesterday. Here's this one. This one's nice, but sometimes with the peak of those, your paper can get stuck or just not go in as easily. And here's this one. I think first I'm going to try this one and just see what happens. And I'll use just a normal white cardstock. I'm going to cut, gently placing this over my book. I'm just going to cut a piece off of it to work with. And see what it looks like. So this, last time I punched it from the middle. This one I'm just going to punch it from the end. And how I do it, I line it up where I line it up on this side to where the space is already punched out. I know they have these guidelines on the other side, but I don't seem to do very well with those. So I gave up, and this is how I do it. So I should just punch to the very end and then have it. Okay. Well, let me clear this off. And let's see what it looks like. Maybe just one little row. That's kind of pretty. I like that. So, okay, so I'm going to do that. I do think I'm going to cut a little bit shorter. I don't need quite a big lip. Cut down on the bulk. I'm going to cut that edge down. And then bring that up and glue there to there. So I'm going to cut here because I know I'm not going to go beyond that point. So I do have the option. I'm going to just slightly brush this over. I don't really want to see the dark colors, but what it does, it just creates a little bit more of an edge, so you get a little bit more definition. So it's very, very lightly that I did that. So I'm going to put my glue along this. And how I'm using this, I'm actually not going to show the little dots. I'm going to show the large dots, but not the little dots. It's going to go below there. And then I'll trim off the edges. So positioning it up a little more, right? I'd say right about there. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and trim the sides, and that's right on the edge, so I'm just going to kind of make a little rounded part there. And clean that up. And let's see what we've got. So it looks like that. I take my glue and glue this on now because I'm satisfied with that. I guess I actually could put some lace, duplicate that, and put it up above. I have that extra section. I'll take a look at it and see. I have it glued down, but I might be able to figure something out. And now I kind of like the different patterns. So I do have these tags. I purchased them a long time ago. I think they were from Michaels. You know how they have the bins in the middle of the aisle? I think I picked them up there. So it's a perfect time to use one. Let's see. Should fit nicely. A little bit long, so I'm going to cut it off. Tag goes to there. I'm going to cut it off, I think, almost an inch, because I also want to put something on the top there. Okay, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch, so I can cut more off, but I can't get it back. And I'm going to use this punch to round off the edges again. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that works out nicely. I'm going to go back, though, to my good old Distress ink. Let me move these off. And get those edges. So it looks like this one was poorly cut. It's got a little piece of the paper still there. That's okay. I can cut that. So getting the edges here helps. Maybe a little more. Oh, okay, so that's what we're looking like so far. And I want to use some of the flowers for a card in here, I would say. So this is another card of hers that came. That actually, not a terrible idea in there, but it might look pretty with something more flowery. So here's some of these cards. The little girl could go in there. These are scraps. I always keep my scraps until I'm all done. one of these flower cards would look nice in there too. Or the polka dot. I want to see what the polka dot looks like. So this one is just cut on normal copy paper. Not cut on, printed on normal copy paper. It is nice having the firmness sometimes of a heavier paper, but that heavier paper just bulks up the book so much too. So when I can just use a normal piece of copy paper, that's what I do. Okay, try to get it nice and straight and nice cut. So let me move this away. We'll see what this does. I think that's kind of fun. Might need to cut it down just slightly because it's struggling going in. That brings up some of the coloring and stuff from there anyway. We will see. Okay, let me see what else I want to do. I want to put some kind of a flower, some kind of a tuck in there. I'm going to cut these up and then just try some out. Alright, I have everything all cut up and ready to go. Now we can try out a few different things. I have a large pile that I can try out there, see what other things look like behind. I think that one's too light. It kind of gets lost with that paper. This one, I think I kind of tried a little bit earlier. It's doable. It's not great. I could do a little girl. I could cut that down a little bit more. I don't know if that's how I want to use her. This one I think I might like. I think I like this one because it brings the floral feel in there and it changes the feel of the page. It softens it up, makes it a little bit more tender. Down here, I don't like just the brown. There's the girl. I don't think it does it justice putting in there. Browns again. I don't want to use a check. I like the light because it kind of picks up from that background. There's the flowers. That's okay. I think what I might do, I might try to make some tickets type things out of those because it matches this size. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to work with these pieces. And I pick these up, put them aside. Put them right there. Okay, so let's see. I have to work to get this in. Even though I don't like adding extra bulk to it. See, this one slides in nicely. I might actually put this on the back of something. I'm going to cut it down slightly. I'll see if that helps, but I'm just going to take just a smidgen of the edge off and see what that does. Okay, that goes in better. I'm just going to leave it like that. That is awfully light though in the background. I'm going to put a stencil there. So I've got these and I have a whole stack of Tim Holtz stencils. Something frilly like this, which these are. I'm going to use one of these. They're just easier to use, I think. I just got these ones. I think they're actually designed for cakes, but they work great. They work great right here. So since I am doing it with my piece already down, I'm going to put a piece of paper there just to protect it so it doesn't go over my ticket in a way that I don't want it to. So I also have, this is a little, it's actually the makeup brush. I saw, I don't remember, I saw someone use it and I thought, I'm going to try that. I actually do like it. I do like it. It's easier to put on. So, look how nicely that turned out. I love it. Alright, I'm going to put this away and I will wash that later. And let's see, putting this in. Okay, so I do want a little darkness around the edges of that page since I have the stenciling. So I'm going to put this back there just so it doesn't get the behind pages dirty. And I'm just going to do a little distressing along my edges, so it doesn't just look like plain boring white. I like that. I'm going to do just a little bit around that rim right there. Gives it a little bit more depth. So, put that back in. See, look how see how the distressing kind of circles around it? Just kind of like, whoosh. I don't know if that makes sense. So now this one. I think I'm going to back it. I don't like the struggle I'm having to get it in that pocket. I do have this little scrap. I want to see if it fits. It does. I love it when you don't waste something, that it works out. So I'm going to grab my glue, which of course is right here, and glue it up. I just bought a Oohoo, well it's a little while now, Oohoo glue stick. I have that upstairs. I need to bring that down and use it. Okay, that's on nicely, and I'm going to just once again cut it with my scissors. I need to decide if I think I want to round off my edges. Get my cover on, clear these away. So, let's see this side. This is the 1/4 inch side. I think I'll go the larger one. This one's the 1/2 inch side. Punch away. This one sometimes leaves a little chat. Isn't that what they call those? At least they did in the election years ago when something was dangling. So, get my edges. I'm going to go in the center there. So I've got that inked up. And I want the flowers at the top. I think I'm going to do it like that. So it's angled a little bit. I have to decide what kind of ribbon I want here. Let's see. Until then, I'm going to work on these. Once again, I want my punch. This time I'm going to go the smaller. Oh, shoot. I messed up. I did the large size. Okay, so well, I'm committed now. I'm just going to do 2 large sizes. Oh, I need to do the small size too. I don't like the square edge. 2 large, 2 small. So the large ones will be the top where I'm going to put the hole. A punch hole, so it'll be like this right here. Once again, I'm going to ink it up. Spend a lot of time inking up, huh? I think too what I want to do with this is stamp on it or put a die on it or something, create more interest. I wonder if this is too big. No, I'm just going to do it. A little more ink there. So those are going to be tied together with a little bit of string. And I just happen to have a leftover string here. So I could change it up. This string here just has an old vintage feel to it anyway, because you'd see tags tied up with this stuff. So I'm just going to give it a try. See what it looks like. Yeah, that works. Okay. So now let me see, what do I want to do? I want to do some kind of a stamping. I do have this stamp just right here. It says passenger coupon ticket. Could do that. Could do something else. I'm going to go grab some stamps. Okay, here's a few stamps. This is a Tim Holtz one that I have that's got the text and stuff on it. It's got the little nibs that are nice, but I thought it would actually be nice with a butterfly on there. One of the butterflies. I also have this that I got recently, believe it or not, at the thrift shop. But I like the little Dutch boy and girl. So maybe I'll do one of each. This actually has never been used, I believe, including by me. But it's cute. So this is the Dutch girl. And boy, can go right there. Let me stamp it someplace and see what it looks like. So for the stamping, I don't want to use my Distress ink. My Distress ink, if I use that, it won't create as defined of a stamp. I'm going to stamp on that. I want to use my, so this is archival ink. It creates a nice stamp. We'll see what this one does. That's cute. Huh? I think I kind of like that. That would be a nice little stamp there, so I'm going to do that on one of the tags. So hopefully I won't get any side edges on there. There's a fiber I want to clear off to make sure it doesn't block the ink. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I have it in a good spot. Yeah, that's cute. I like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So do I do it on both of them? I think I'm just going to do it on both of them. Unless I do a flower on the other one. Decisions. No, I'm going to do a passenger. Just because I have it here, and then it creates a whole nother look. You know what? I just changed my mind a lot, don't I? I still can't get away from the thought of the butterfly. Butterfly would be awfully nice. I think I'll do this butterfly. So because this has multiple butterflies together, I have to be careful that I do get the whole stamp without getting other things all stamped as well. I think I'm going to stamp this way instead of the other. I'm just going to go for it. See what happens. That's cute, huh? I like those. Okay. I'm going with it. Put these back so I don't lose them. There's the box. So this one I've already belongs somewhere, but I'm not sure. So I've just kind of got to have it on my desk. Now that I have this on, I can color it in. The archival ink I can do that with. So I might actually try to do a little coloring, add a little bit more life to it, particularly the butterfly. So I'm going to pull, this paper is great. You can also use like a baggie, just something that's will block the water. And I think I want to bring up pinks because I have that there, so darker color, just a little squirt. And pick a brush. I don't want a huge one, a little brush. Can you see? Yeah, I like that. And the tulips, let's see, where can I put? I guess they're shoes. Can add color to. Maybe her dress at the top. I don't know. I don't know on that one. Oh, the tulips. Could have done that. So let me see. I'll do. I'm gonna do aqua colored. Teal, whatever you want to call it. The official color on this is Evergreen Bough. And I guess it does have an evergreen color if you have it in the right place. But to me, when I look at least at the cover of it, it feels more teal-like. So I'm going to add just a little around, maybe on his body. Bring the color in. Sorry about that. Oh, got it on the back. That's okay. I was going to splash it on the front anyway. So now I just put some color around. Got a little movement. And this one, I want to add still some on the edge of the butterfly. Okay. And then I need to just put a little color on the back like that too. Just kind of nothing in any certain way. So I'm going to wipe this up. I love this board. This little tool. I looked for one at Hobby Lobby again so I could just cut it in a little sheet. Excuse me. And then just put it on the table, but I didn't see it anywhere. You know, they're rearranging everything in new products and getting rid of old things. I think that's one of the things they got rid of. So I'm going to dry this just a tad. So I don't want this to look so pink, like as if I spilt Kool-Aid on it. So I am going to add some of the Distress ink over the top to just give it a more used look instead of I just spilled ink on my copy paper or Kool-Aid. And that works. So, and I think I want to take, and I'm going to use this stamp here, this Misfit stamp that just keeps roaming around. And I want to just kind of along the edge stamp, no, not that one, stamp just a tad bit of the letters. I don't want it to be about anything. I just want it to break up. I just want it to break up the feel of it, as if there's something there, but you can't see it. You're missing out a little bit. Like that. So they're not just plain now, and it still can write on them. Still very usable. You can even write right over those letters. They're so light. And I can tuck these in here. I like them. I think I want the little peoples in the front though. So that's what it's looking like so far. I still want to, I want to put something here. So I think I want a flower. I could make a flower maybe. I might later on make a flower. I don't know. Let me look at the little kit. You know, here's a tiny little girl. What if we had her cut and on the bottom there? I think I might try that. Just see what it looks like. Okay. I like that. So let's see. I'm going to have to cut off, I think, the peacock part, though. Will that be okay? I guess I won't know until I try it. Okay. So I want it to kind of go over the guest place. I like that too because see the angle, her angle goes the same angle of that other cut. I'll save this little peacock portion. Who knows, I might want to use that again later. And I got paper. I wonder what... So this is a little leftover piece of paper from a project I did earlier. I think it's nice, perhaps having, except I want full text, having one more piece of something in there. So let me see how this goes. If I cut up like that. I think I'll have to go from both directions if I want to try it. Right here. Yep, I think I'm going to do something like that. Creates a base. Those two pieces. So I'm going to grab a little scrap again. Something I can get ink all over. Gonna ink these up a little bit, create just a little bit more interest, a little more aging feeling to it. I need to do that to the girl too. So, and I think that I want that potentially above my zigzag markings. Like that. Let me do the girl. Actually, I'm going to cut this more along the grass line instead of the line of the card. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to glue these pieces on. And see what happens. It's going over my guest. So, let's see. I'm gonna look at eyelash ribbon, I think. So here's some eyelash ribbon. One big ball of a mess. And I only need a tad bit of it, but if I add eyelash ribbon there, it just kind of creates a little bit more movement. I don't need very much. I'm going to like cut it down to just a tiny piece. Like that. Because it is the eyelash, I'm going to use my glue to secure that. And then I'm going to use the white wet glue to put this down. And I think I like it. So it's just kind of sticking out there. I'm committed now. Let's see. What else do I want to do to it? I still need the ribbon there. I could even use eyelash ribbon, bring that look up there. I could use a cream ribbon or something with red in it. Let me grab a few. So this is a vintage Hug Snug that I recently got. Isn't that cool? And it's a rusty red, which matches nicely, I think, with that. I'm going to try cutting that off and seeing what it looks like. So I think I want a little bit more distress. So to distress it, to got a flyaway fluff. You can wrinkle it up. I'll see if it's wrinkled enough. That might be good. You get a better wrinkle with water. I'm going to show you real quick. So I'm going to get this wet, and then I'm going to take my heat gun and dry it. So have it in a little ball. I use the tip of my scissors so that I don't burn my little fingers. And then I've got my heat gun. This is an old one I've had for years. So I try to lift my scissors up and rearrange it to allow heat to get into different areas. So you keep doing that. I'm not going to keep showing you it because it takes a long time. It doesn't take a long time, but it's like a waste of time showing you. You lift your scissors up and you put them back down. Okay, so now I've got it nice and wrinkly. Who knows, maybe I'll want it nice and soft looking though. I won't know unless I try though, right? So let's try it out. I'm going to go through there and then bring it through the loop and back up. I like it. Looks like that. Oh, let me try something here. No, it's too much. So I have this. It's this whole thing of ribbon that I got someplace, just like I think probably at a thrift shop. It's just a... God. It almost seems like I should have one more thing someplace in there. But once you write on this tag, you'll have that going through, and that'll create that interest. So you know what? I think I'm going to stop there. I think I need to walk away from my tag, but I will do a little bit more inking just along the edge because you hardly notice it. Oh, I'm going to ink the back too. So get that up there. Little movement. That's probably what I needed, just with a little movement in there. Inking up the back. And then I'm lightly rubbing it over it to get a little distressed look around it. Okay. Oh, it looks pretty just without this too. I don't know, maybe I should put this one behind it. I think I might like that better. How do you like that? Alright, there you go. There's my guest check pocket for today. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So I will see you another time. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you like it, and if you want to say some fun words, love to hear them. Have a great day, and I will see you another time. Bye.